In 1948, George Mikan enters the Basketball Association of America as a 6'10" rookie center and immediately records 28.3 points and 14.1 rebounds per game. Just a year earlier, he had led the Chicago American Gears to the National Basketball League title, cementing his status as the most dominant post player in either league. The BAA has no Rookie of the Year award at this point, so his production goes unrecognized in official voting records. Because his Minneapolis Lakers also claim the championship, his debut season sets a standard for rookie impact that few would match in the next 2 decades. League officials, aware of how much attention Mikan draws, begin to worry his scoring and size might unbalance competition. Without an award to formalize rookie achievements, Mikan's dominance exists mostly in newspaper clippings and anecdotal accounts. His 28.3 points per game lead the league by a margin of more than 5 points, forcing opponents to alter defensive schemes and prompting discussion of widening the lane. The absence of a formal Roy race in 1948 means his season is retroactively debated rather than officially honored. Within a few years, partly due to players like Mikan redefining immediate impact, the league institutes the Rookie of the Year award to track and publicize elite first-year performances. That new recognition sets the stage for the first official winners in the early 1950s, when the NBA hopes to highlight emerging stars alongside veterans. In the 1968-69 season, Elvin Hayes enters the league as the first overall pick for the San Diego Rockets and immediately posts 28.4 points and 17.1 rebounds per game. At 6'9" and 235 pounds, he plays over 45 minutes a night, leading the entire NBA in scoring as a rookie, something no one has done since Wilt Chamberlain. Despite Hayes' production, the Rockets finish with a 37-45 record, missing the playoffs in the tough Western Division. Voters instead award Rookie of the Year to Wes Unseld, who averages 13.8 points and 18.2 rebounds while anchoring the Baltimore Bullets to a 57-25 record. Unseld's impact is reinforced by the Bullets jumping from last place to first in a single season, earning him both Rookie of the Year and the league's Most Valuable Player award. The decision sparks an immediate debate about the purpose of the Rookie of the Year award, whether it recognizes individual dominance or team transformation. Hayes' scoring title demonstrates unmatched personal value, but his team's losing record contrasts sharply with the Bullets' surge under Unseld's leadership. Because voters heavily weigh Baltimore's success, the award becomes an early example of how team context can overshadow statistical excellence. Hayes still earns an all-star starting spot and begins a streak of 12 consecutive seasons averaging over 20 points, but the snub shapes his reputation for years. The league's emphasis on winning as a voting criterion sets the tone for other controversial Rookie of the Year races in the next decade. In the 1975-76 ABA season, David Thompson enters professional basketball as the #1 pick of both the ABA's Denver Nuggets and the NBA's Atlanta Hawks, choosing the Nuggets in a move that solidifies the ABA's talent pool. At 6'4", he records 26.0 points and 6.3 rebounds per game, shooting above 50% from the field in an era without the three-point line. His vertical leap, measured at over 40 inches, produces highlight finishes that drive Denver's 60-24 record and a spot in the ABA Finals. Because the league still operates separately from the NBA, Thompson is ineligible for that year's NBA Rookie of the Year voting, despite outperforming many first-year NBA players statistically. The following summer, the ABA-NBA merger brings his numbers into sharper focus as comparisons to contemporaries become unavoidable. When the 1976-77 NBA season begins, Thompson is technically a second-year pro, but a first-year NBA player, creating an eligibility question that voters settle in favor of counting him as a rookie. He averages 25.9 points and 4.1 rebounds that year, but loses the NBA Rookie of the Year award to Phoenix Suns center Alvin Adams, who who posts 19.0 points and 9.1 rebounds while leading the Suns to 42 wins and an unexpected trip to the finals. Adams' postseason visibility 3 double-doubles in the finals against Boston heavily influences voters, even though Thompson's individual efficiency and scoring volume are higher. The vote underscores how playoff exposure and team success can outweigh pure production in awards races. That dynamic, firmly established here, shapes how the next generation of rookies will be judged. Larry Bird enters the NBA in 1979-80, averaging 21.3 points, 10.4 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per game, immediately lifting Boston from 29 wins to 61. The turnaround is the largest single-season improvement in franchise history, and it restores the Celtics to the top of the Atlantic Division for the first time since 1975. Bird plays all 82 games, logging over 2,900 minutes, and finishes 6th in the league in total points while ranking top 10 in rebounds. His floor-spacing jump shot stretches defenses in ways the 1970s Celtics never achieved, and his passing accelerates Boston's pace without sacrificing efficiency. Despite the statistical dominance, the award race nearly swings toward Magic Johnson, whose NCAA championship with Michigan State 6 months earlier still saturates national coverage. Magic's Lakers finish with 60 wins and the league's best record in the West, and his transition play becomes a constant highlight on network broadcasts. Voters weigh Bird's sustained production against Magic's postseason pedigree and charisma, with several openly debating whether the Celtics' loaded roster featuring 5 future Hall of Famers made his job easier. In the end, Bird secures Rookie of the Year comfortably, but the close discussion shows how media narrative can almost override statistical superiority. The 1980 playoffs would set the stage for their decade-long rivalry. In the 1984-85 season, Michael Jordan enters the league as a 21-year-old guard from North Carolina and immediately becomes the Chicago Bulls' leading scorer. He averages 28.2 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists per game while shooting over 51% from the field. Chicago improves from 27 to 38 wins, a swing of 11 victories that secures the franchise's first playoff berth in 4 years. Jordan logs 82 games, leading the league in minutes played, and quickly proves he can dominate at both ends. His combination of high usage and efficiency is rare for a rookie in any era, and it forms the statistical foundation for his Rookie of the Year case. Meanwhile, Charles Barkley in Philadelphia builds his own campaign over the back half of the season. The 6'6" forward posts 14.0 points and 8.6 rebounds per game while shooting 58%, anchoring an offense that wins 58 games and pushes deep into the playoffs. Barkley benefits from playing alongside Julius Erving and Moses Malone, which allows him to operate in a narrower role with higher efficiency. By April, several writers float the idea that team success should outweigh Jordan's individual dominance. In the end, Jordan's all-around production and workload carry the vote, but the Barkley push shows how quickly a late-season narrative can challenge an obvious front-runner. The conversation over impact versus efficiency sets the tone for future Rookie of the Year debates. Chris Mullin enters the league in 1985-86 as a polished 6'7" shooting forward, fresh from starring on the 1984 U.S. Olympic team that won gold in Los Angeles. In his first season with Golden State, he records 14.0 points per game on efficient shooting, appearing in 59 of 82 games, and immediately stabilizing the Warriors' perimeter scoring. Meanwhile, Patrick Ewing, the consensus #1 pick for New York, averages 20.0 points and 9.0 rebounds, but appears in only 50 contests due to persistent knee and groin injuries. Ewing's absence limits the Knicks to a 23-59 record, tied for the worst in the Eastern Conference, yet he still secures Rookie of the Year honors from the voting panel. The result triggers debate about whether impact should outweigh availability in award voting. Mullen plays almost 20% more games than Ewing, carries a similar offensive efficiency, and helps Golden State improve by 5 wins over the previous year. Ewing's per-game numbers, however, and his status as the most hyped rookie since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, drive a narrative that overshadows the game's missed factor. In a season where neither rookie transforms his team into a playoff contender, the voters' preference for raw averages over durability becomes clear. That precedent shapes later Rookie of the Year races where missed time no longer disqualifies frontrunners, setting the stage for future disputes over games played. In the 1989-90 season, Drain Petrovi arrives in Portland with a stacked arsum from Europe, 2 EuroLeague titles, Olympic silver, and a reputation as the continent's deadliest shooter. The 6'5" guard is 25 years old, already a star overseas, but he spends most of his rookie campaign buried behind Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, and Danny Young in the Blazers' backcourt rotation. Across 77 appearances, Petrovi averages only 7.6 points in 12.6 minutes per game, shooting 45.7% from the field and rarely closing tight contests. Meanwhile, David Robinson, the Spurs 7-1 Navy graduate, plays 36 minutes a night and posts 24.3 points, 12.0 rebounds, and 3.9 blocks, making the Rookie of the Year race a formality. Because Portland is a playoff team and Robinson transforms San Antonio from 21 wins to 56, the vote is decisive long before April. The snub conversation comes from context, not numbers. Petrovi's skill set, quick release jumper, deep range, relentless movement has little room to surface in a league still skeptical of international guards. Front offices in 1990 generally view foreign players as untested in the NBA's physical style, and coaches hesitate to hand them primary roles without years of stateside experience. Petrovi's flashes 20-point outbursts in limited minutes. His 84% free throw mark hint at more, but the system doesn't change for him. By January of his 3rd season, he forces a trade to New Jersey, where his minutes triple and his scoring jumps to 20.6 per game. 3 years later, at age 28, he is All-NBA 3rd team and one of the league's most efficient scorers before a fatal car crash ends his career. Robinson's rookie dominance overshadows Petrovi entirely in the 1990 award race, but the league's perception shifts in the following decade as European guards like Toni Kukoc and Peja Stojakovic find real opportunities. Petrovi's path-bench exile, trade escape, rapid ascension becomes a template for overseas players proving their value when given usage and trust. The era's bias and minutes distribution make his rookie numbers inevitable, yet his later production validates that the talent gap with domestic rookies was never as wide as the vote suggested. The changing view of international players sets the scene for the next snub, one involving raw athleticism instead of refined shooting. In 1989-90, Shawn Kemp enters the NBA as the youngest player in the league, just 19 years old, joining the Seattle Supersonics after a season without college basketball. He plays in 81 games, but starts only one, averaging 6.5 points and 4.3 rebounds in 13.8 minutes per night. The coaching staff limits his early role because of his inexperience, but his leaping ability quickly becomes a nightly highlight. Seattle finishes 41-41, good for the final playoff spot in the West, and Kemp's role expands in the second half as injuries thin the rotation. His per 36-minute numbers 7.0 points and 11.3 rebounds hint at the impact he could have with more minutes. Even so, his production pales next to the statistical dominance of the year's actual winner. David Robinson, at 24 years old, debuts for the San Antonio Spurs after 2 years of Navy service and immediately transforms the franchise. He averages 24.3 points, 12.0 rebounds, and 3.9 blocks per game, starting all 82 games and leading the Spurs from 21 to 56 wins in a single season. Robinson's numbers rank among the best rookie campaigns in league history, and he finishes with the unanimous Rookie of the Year win. Kemp's case rests on potential rather than production, bolstered by a late-season surge that includes multiple double-doubles and a series of memorable dunks in nationally televised games. His rookie year sets the stage for a rapid ascent. He doubles his scoring to 15.0 points the next season and becomes a starter for the next decade. Robinson's dominance, however, makes 1990 one of the least controversial Rookie of the Year votes on record, clearing the way for Kemp's growth in the seasons to follow. The 1996-97 season places Allen Iverson in Philadelphia as the #1 overall pick, immediately producing 23.5 points and 7.5 assists per game across 76 appearances. He records at least 20 points in 51 games, carries a Sixers team that finishes only 22-60, and plays more minutes than any other rookie. The season's defining stretch comes in late March, when Iverson scores 35 or more in 5 consecutive games, a rookie feat not seen since Wilt Chamberlain. His speed and crossover break down perimeter defenders, and he leads all first-year players in usage rate while drawing more than 7 free throw attempts a night. Because of his constant scoring pressure, Philadelphia's offensive efficiency rises from 101.0 to 105.6 points per 100 possessions compared to the previous year. Stephen Marbury, taken 4th by Milwaukee and traded to Minnesota, posts 15.8 points and 7.8 assists for a Timberwolves squad that improves from 26 to 40 wins. His passing pairs with Kevin Garnett's development to create the franchise's first playoff berth, and his assist percentage ranks 3rd in the entire league. Supporters of Marbury point to the 14-win jump as a more direct measure of rookie impact, while Iverson's case rests on individual output in a weaker roster context. The vote, held among 121 media members, tilts decisively to Iverson's 71st place votes to Marbury's 39, cementing his Rookie of the Year award. The class itself becomes historic, with Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, and Steve Nash also debuting, setting up multiple future MVP races. This concentration of talent ensures that any award choice from 1996-97 remains a reference point when debating rookie snubs in later decades. The 1998-99 season starts under the shadow of a 204-day lockout, cutting the schedule from 82 to 50 games. Paul Pierce, drafted 10th overall by Boston, posts 16.5 points and 6.4 rebounds per game across 48 appearances, shooting a more efficient percentage from the field and from 3 than most rookies in his class. Toronto's Vince Carter, the 5th pick, averages slightly higher at 18.3 points and 5.7 rebounds, but on lower efficiency. The statistical gap in scoring appears to give Carter the edge, yet Pierce's two-way role covers more minutes, matchups, and situational value. Boston's offense improves notably when he's on the floor, a sign of immediate impact beyond counting stats. The voting narrative, however, tilts heavily toward Carter. The lockout season's compressed schedule means fewer games to evaluate advanced metrics, and highlight reels carry disproportionate influence. Carter's acrobatic dunks, particularly his windmills and alley-oops during nationally televised games, dominate sports media coverage at a time when visual moments outweigh efficiency data in award debates. Meanwhile, Pierce's steadier production in half-court sets generates less nightly buzz, despite Boston leaning on him as a primary scorer in late-game possessions. The final ballots reflect this skewed perception, awarding Carter Rookie of the Year. That outcome sets a precedent for how media-friendly playstyles can eclipse efficiency, a pattern that will resurface in later snub cases.
If you made it this far, you're one of the real ones. At B-Ball Decoded, we don't sugarcoat the past. We break it down, team by team, draft by draft, mistake by mistake. If you love deep NBA stories, critical breakdowns, and raw basketball truth. Hit that like button, subscribe for more team deep dives, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next.